Ooh. That's my, yo, bro, this is my shit, bro. I be bumping this OD when I'm working out. I am Louis Charles, ASBW. We back in the building, we back in the building, we back in the building, we back in the building. Man, just a fucking jerk. With my gang. Celia Farah, King La, Jessica Edit D, Dana Simone, Just DXO. Alright, give it one more minute or two. We're gonna get back right into it. So I'm probably gonna just finish up with the sun conjunctions for tonight. Well, let me see. Now we should be able to get through everything. We should be able to get through the moon conjunctions too. If not, we'll just do the moon conjunctions separately. Yes sir, yes sir. Keely, 7 miles east. I am Tiff, Rastafarian monk. All praise to the King Selassie. Yeah man. Amina 5.8, knowing me is a luxury. Lady Yese. Having 24. The Flow. What's up, Flow? What's Guan and Flow? Alright, so where we at? We at Sun and Venus. Jasmine Faith, Maya P. Alright, so let's get back into it. Lip Gloss Swag, 412, Beauty with Depth. Alright, so Sun conjunct Venus. Alright, we know Venus is all sensual, all pretty with her pretty self. We know Venus got to meet her pleasures though. We know that. So you're going to see with Sun conjunct Venus, you're going to see what the things that they find pleasures in by the way they express themselves, by how they communicate maybe, the things they take action on. You're going to see the way, can you clarify the meaning of a conjunction? So if you look at your natal chart, if you look at any planets that you click on it and they say they're conjunct, that means they're together as far as they're sharing the same space. So where they're at the moment, they were in the same space, so they're working as a tag team, all right? Now, all planets have different relationships. So even though they're viewed as a power, at the end of the day, we need to be consciously aware of which planets are working together, because if they're planets that don't necessarily like each other, they could turn into squares, oppositions quick. Even if they are planets that like each other, they could turn into oppositions and squares. All right, but this is why we talking about this. This is why we want to understand our powers. All right, so Sun conjunct Venus. So we know Venus got to meet her pleasure. So like I said, you gonna know what this person wants to connect to and indulge in by their actions, what they're into. All right, there's gonna be a sense of harmony and balance with the way that they express themselves and communicate themselves. Sun and Venus, if they're at some type of creative function, Sun and Venus don't want to just take over the stage and whatnot. They want to express their creative self, and they want to share that. They want people to express themselves. They want to give themselves the opportunity to value somebody else's form of expression. Sun and Venuses, all right. The Sun and Venuses, y'all charming. See, the Sun is expression of how you're seen. But understand, when we go back to us understanding that the spirit is picking the planets, that you're using the planets, understand that when you know you're using the Sun to represent how you're seen, if you got Venus by that, you're going to want people to see you as good looking, well put together, hair done, makeup done, you present yourself. Venus by the Sun naturally going to have the actions. You're going to have the natural actions wanting to come off in that way. All right? Sun and Venus people don't really want to step on your toes. All right? It's going to be a sense of, moving through the room without touching nobody. Keeping things nice and balanced in here through the way I act and express myself. But, like I said, Venus need to meet her pleasures. So when it comes to your pleasures, when it comes to the people, places, and things that you find pleasures in with Sun conjunct Venus, sometimes y'all will take the actions y'all take to connect to them pleasures, because they share in space. So if Venus got to do some shit, if Venus got to go take a shower, the Sun is like, all right, let's go. I'll be on the toilet when you get out the bath. Yeah, you know how we do this. I'm on the toilet, you in the bathtub. When you get out, I go on the... So they working together. So when Venus gotta go meet her pleasures, what's the sun doing? The sun gonna start paying attention to where the pleasures is at. The sun gonna want to take action and an initiative on where the pleasures is at. So if the sun ain't gonna be disciplining Venus, that's the sun's first daughter, his oldest daughter. She about to go to college. All right. His youngest daughter is Earth, that we living on right now, Tara, Gaia. So if you have the sun conjunct Venus and your sun ain't disciplining Venus the right way, if Venus always asking for new things and there's no discipline to how Venus got to connect to her pleasures, then you can get lost in your actions and the lights that you indulge into with your actions. So Sun and Venus, you know, the extremes is crazy because they're both very bright lights. We got planets that don't reflect light. We got planets that don't give a fuck about feelings and emotions. Saturn don't give a fuck about that shit. Saturn don't give two fucks about some entertainment. Can I make money off what y'all doing? What y'all entertaining? Can I build a foundation? Is there a way for me to make sense of what the fuck y'all doing? Oh, y'all just having fun and shit with no business involved. Oh, okay. This ain't the party for me. And we're going to get to you, Sun conjunct Saturn. We're going to get to y'all. But this is what's going on with Sun conjunct Venus. You got to be able to discipline your pleasures there. Wherever Venus is at, we got to be able to discipline her. Make sure when she's always yearning for her pleasures and whatnot, when she wants to connect to, that she can't be overindulgent and she has to practice balance and moderation with that shit. All right? So if you got the Sun there working as a tag team, understand that your actions are always going to be paying attention to your pleasures. You have to learn to discipline yourself more in that state. Make sure that you are taking more rational, practical actions when it comes to, you know, the things you know you're supposed to be paying attention to. Even though your sun sign shows you what you're naturally paying attention to, don't mean that we got to learn to put our attention elsewhere at times. It's just what you're naturally going to be enticed to pay attention to. Sun is a bright ass light. Venus is a bright ass light. We used to be able to see Venus early before the sunrise. That's why they call it the morning star. All right. So with these bright ass lights, you cannot get lost in your pleasures. You cannot get lost in everything that you think is all good and beautiful. And you got to make sure people don't take advantage of you because of your actions, and they see how motherfucking balanced and how much your actions is predicated towards not stepping on people's toes and keeping the harmony. Don't be letting motherfuckers take advantage of your actions because they see that shit. All right. Now, Venus conjunct Mars. I said Venus conjunct Mars. Sun conjunct Mars. When we got... Oh, let me get that comment pen. Now, when we have the Sun conjunct Mars, what is Mars? Mars is your passions, goals, desires, what you intend to do. Overall, your intentions. All right, how you take your actions. And if Mars cannot meet its passions, goals, and desires, it meets anger and frustration. That's the negative side of Mars. All right. So you want to keep Mars on top of his goals, on top of his passions. You want to take wherever your Mars is at, the positive passions you have there, the positive goals and whatnot. You know, you want to have an environment for Mars to keep its attention on that, keep its intentions on that. Because if you're not consciously aware of the area of life that you know you be setting a lot of attention that you're real passionate about, if you're not putting Mars in the environment to go ahead and just do his thing, once Mars start drifting off, not even Mars start drifting off elsewhere, once Mars is not meeting certain passions and goals because maybe the way your actions, maybe the way where your sun is at, maybe the way your reactions are, where your moon is at, maybe where your pleasures is at, Venus, maybe you got something hidden in Mars from time to time to take that nigga off track when it comes to his passion, goals, and desires. Or maybe it's in Libra, maybe it's somewhere I don't like to be, maybe it's in motherfucking Taurus, maybe it's in the second house, maybe in the seventh house. All right. At the end of the day, you want to make sure you're putting Mars in an environment where it don't have to meet anger and frustration. We be so passionate about shit in our lives, get caught up in a relationship, get caught up in whatever was going on in our life, and when we realize that, you know, we wasn't paying attention to our passions, goals, and desires wherever Mars is at, and we feel like we dealing with all type of negative emotions, anger and frustration, stress be developing from a lot of planets not being in tune, not being in alignment. Sometimes we can't even pinpoint why we feeling the way we feel. We can't even pinpoint, but best believe it might come from a certain energy in you that's not in a certain, it's not in alignment, ain't really on a positive charge or a balanced charge of things. All right. So Mars deals with your passion, goals, and desires. So when you got that by the sun, now the relationship between sun and sun and Mars, sun is the father, Mars is the first son. So sun and Mars. When sun got to take action, when the sun got to take action on things, Mars is there to take that motherfucking action. Mars is there to, how we gonna do that shit, Dad? How we gonna do that shit? All right. The sun got to mow the lawn. Mars, you got some, before football practice, get your ass up, get your willy-nilly ass up, crank that goddamn lawnmower downstairs, and make sure when you have football practice, or make sure when you have football practice and I walk out the house to run my errands, I better see the motherfucking grass look like Rancho Cucamonga lawn out this motherfucker. You feel me? Sun not playing that. Mars carries the duties and obligations of the sun. You feel me? So when the moon on the sun ass to make sure shit getting done, the sun is. Y'all know when y'all parents call y'all. Y'all know when y'all parents call y'all, and then it's like, you be like, yo, and they don't say nothing back. Like, you gotta go. Mars be knowing they gotta go. Like, the sun be like, Mars. Mars don't even be like, yeah, to listen and see if they gotta go upstairs. Mars take his ass upstairs. Mars already know what's up. What action? What's up, Dad? What you need my fire passionate ass to do now? And it ain't no like burden on Mars. Mars is strapped to go out here and dive into his passions, goals, and desires. Mars what's up, Dad? What we doing? So when you have the sun and Mars on the same team, when you have the sun and Mars conjunct, understand the way you appear to be is very passionate. All right, it can be intimidating to others. Maybe your actions can come off a little too hot, a little too aggressive at times. You feel me? You gotta simmer down your actions at times. It could even be on the flip side with Mars, because Mars, it got a positive and negative side. The sun only got a positive charge. All right, the moon only got a negative charge. The moon is the overall feminine energy of the solar system. The sun is the overall positive masculine energy of the solar system. But when we talk about Mercury, Mercury got a daytime and a nighttime. It got a masculine and a feminine side. It got Gemini masculine. It got Virgo feminine. All right, Mars got a daytime and a nighttime too. Daytime masculine side Aries. Nighttime feminine side Scorpios. Y'all see how conservative, y'all see how reserved a Scorpio can be? So Aries be jumping into that bag a lot of the time. And this is why Aries moons can play out Scorpio traits. This is why Scorpio suns can play out Aries traits. All right? Because a Scorpio sun, the sun is masculine. But when it's in the Scorpio chakra, it's picking up a Mars influence. But it's still a masculine energy. So when it's expressing itself, it's going to have a Mars influence. So it might come off like it's an Aries a bit sometimes. All right? So it should be deep. But when we talk about motherfucking Mars by the sun, it could play out in the other way where your actions are more reserved. Because Mars is always, you always got to relate it to our intentions, the things you intend to do. And when you look at your intentions, people really don't know your intentions unless in some type of way you have put them on your actions. You already started acting on your intentions, and they figure that you have intentions to either do more, or you already had intentions to do that by the way you may have acted on things or expressed yourself. But for the most part, people don't know your intentions. That's an internal thing. So Mars, you have the sun by Mars, you could be a person that is more reserved and whatnot, because what you're paying attention to, the energy your sun is picking up on, the sun be thinking about is intentions. The sun be thinking about, the things it's passionately into. The sun and Mars already got this type of relationship. But if you have the sun in a certain sign and the Mars in a certain sign and they square in the opposite, then you got a little father-son, a little turbulent relationship for the most part, even though Mars respect the fuck out of the sun. But for the most part, you feel me, you can come off like that. You can still come off like that with Mars by the sun. All right. That's why I say Aries suns. Y'all know the post I posted the other day when with Jay-Z and Dame Dash and Memphis Bleak, and I said Jay-Z represents the earth and water signs, Dame Dash and Memphis Bleak represent the fire and air signs, and for the most part, there's fire signs that could be in the Jay-Z role. Aries could definitely be cool, calm, collected, and reserved. There was actually an Aries that commented on the post like, I'm an Aries and I'm actually like Jay-Z. Yeah, because that Mars energy, Mars be more so dealing with his intentions. This is why Aries feel vulnerable when people are in his personal space, or Aries risings, people all up in their personal space or whatnot. You feel me? That's why Aries moons don't like people. Okay, this is why. Mine is always on the self-intention. So when you have the sun by there, you can appear to be somebody that always look like they intend to do some shit now. We might not know your intentions, but at the end of the day, the sun is gonna represent your appearance. So, and how you want people to see you and how you're seen. So if you have Mars by your shit, you're either gonna come off very passionate with the way you express yourself, the way you act on things, or you just gonna seem like you always intend to do. You intend to do some shit. You got some passion or fire you wanna release. You're gonna see fire in somebody's eyes and their expression when you're dealing with a Mars conjunct Sun person, and you always want to act on your passions. Sun conjunct Mars people, this is another placement. They don't need no self-motivation. They don't need no self-inspiration. Sun and Mars motherfuckers, the only thing they need to motivate them is seeing the enemy, somebody they don't like, doing better than them. Because at the end of the day, the sun is still going to pay attention to other people's actions. Whatever sign your sun is in is what about the actions you paying attention to. So an Aries might be paying attention. Once again, Aries don't really be giving a fuck about other people though at the same time, because it is Aries, the I am. So they be paying attention more to their own actions more than other people's actions. They really don't care about other people's actions for real. But when you to an extent, you are gonna pick up on how people express themselves. Fire signs is gonna pick up how other people express themselves. Period. So Mars conjunct Sun person, they don't need no self-inspiration. But if it's somebody they don't fuck with, like certain signs have no shame in admitting they don't like you, or they hate something, they hate somebody, they can't. Certain signs have no shame with that shit. All right, Aries will tell you no, straight up. A Virgo will tell you, can you take this back? I don't like the mashed potatoes touching the rice. Like, I don't like my food touching each other. I should have told y'all that before. It's my first time eating it. My bad. Sorry. You know, I don't mean to put you. Certain signs don't give a fuck. Certain signs gonna let you know straight up what it is. All right. So, Sun conjunct Mars, they one of those. They one of those. They are one of those. You feel me? Ain't a Sun and Mars person. They paying attention and they want to take action on their passions. So if they connecting or paying attention to something, they ain't got shit to do with the I am, ain't got shit to do with the well, not necessarily the I am, because that was dealing with Aries, even though Mars does rule Aries. All right, so it's gonna be a influence of your self-intention. That's the only thing that's gonna motivate an Aries. But they really, I mean, I keep saying Aries, and I got Aries in my head now because of Mars. But Sun conjunct Mars, they don't need no inspiration. That's why they could just see somebody else doing better than them, or somebody else looking like they going harder than them or something. It's like, oh, alright. And now it's like competition in their own head. This is why they don't need no inspiration, motivation, because internally they create the competition within themselves. You feel me? That's why a lot of Aries, you feel me? A lot of Libras, this is what Libras can learn from Aries. Libras they're looking at their competition all the time and then comparing themselves. Aries just see the competition and they got the competition within themselves. Libras, it take Libras a while to understand that they are their only competition. You know, they paying attention to the external realm that goddamn much. Aries, nah. You feel me? So Sun conjunct Mars, passionate actions. All right. Don't need inspiration. All right. Don't need motivation. Okay. They come off raw. They can be blunt. Actions come off direct. Actions are pinpointed. Nothing about Mars is like passive, y'all. Nothing about Mars is hesitant. Nothing about Mars is pit stoppish. Mars is on go, family. Mars is on go. So if you have the Sun by Mars, your actions be on goddamn go. The sun be having to tell Mars sometimes, like, oh, all right, simmer down now, son. You know, I'm getting old. Goddamn. I can't knock and buck like I can't knock and buck all the time like like I used to do back in my early days, back in my first house birthdays. All right. Can you explain how planetary relationships differ if they are in the same sign but not the same house? If it's not a conjunction, how do those energies affect each other? So if you, the houses are areas of life. Good, this is a great question. The houses are areas of life. The signs are just the energies that's influencing the area of life. So the sign ain't necessarily you acting on things. The tools are. So if, let's say the 8th and 9th house. Let's say I have Libra intercepted in the 8th and 9th house. But let's say my sun is right there at the end of the 8th house, and my Venus is at the beginning of the 9th. And they in two different houses, but they conjunct from degrees. The influences is still a conjunction. So some of that sun influence going to carry on into that 9th house. All right, to a degree. The influences are, you're gonna feel that you're gonna be able to pick up on the influences within the house. Because when we're dealing with house, it ain't really a cusp factor. A planet be in the house or out the house. It don't be on the cusp. Signs, the degrees is different. It's different. All right. So that's more so it's gonna play out. The energies are gonna be pinpointed to the areas of life. But the way you play out the energies, you're gonna play out the energies. You're gonna play out the energies in your overall actions, or depending on whatever tools these are that you're talking about, whether it's a thinking tool, a Venus or Mars tool that's connecting the feelings. All right. But regardless, the influences is just gonna get pinpointed to the areas of life, but it may blend in your overall action or how you overall do things from time to time, because it's still sharing a conjunct space as far as the signs, as far as the planets. Okay, but they in two different areas of life still. So you're gonna feel the influence. It's like my Sun and Venus conjunct, so my actions do come off like this. I do express myself like this, but I do feel influence of Venus in that 9th house. I do feel influence of the Sun in that 8th house. So Sun conjunct Mars. That's basically what we're dealing with. You're gonna see the passion in somebody's actions and how they express themselves. All right, they're gonna be very direct, or they're not gonna express themselves because they may understand that people can't handle their goddamn ass. They may understand that already. That's why they may not even want to associate or relate themselves to certain people. Sun conjunct Mars. Sun conjunct Mars. Once again, like they not really. If anything that they're paying attention to or consciously aware of make them feel like is going to get in the way of their passions, goals, and desires, they can dissociate themselves very quickly. Fire signs, fire burns through reality. So this is why fire signs at times, depending on how they feel about something and what they see, could burn bridges, because they're not rationally thinking about a realistic situation about something. They just got to put that feeling into expression. All right. This is what makes fire signs some of the most creative signs, though, because they know how to get that natural raw feeling and just poof, put that shit in expression. And we see that shit. We see the flame. And we like, damn, this Aries is inspirational like a motherfucker. Damn, this Leo creative like a motherfucker. Damn, this Sagittarius wild like a motherfucker. How they express that shit like that? You feel me? So that's what we're dealing with Sun conjunct Mars. Now, yes, you can have signs in different houses because everything is a degree system. So we have 12 houses, 12 signs. Now, when you're born, when you incarnate, depending on where the sun was rising on the eastern horizon, depending on where the sun was at when you took your first breath, that's going to show you where the rising angle goes. That's going to show you where the rising angle starts, what starts your first house. So now you got a house system. So if your rising sign starts, every sign 30 degrees. So if your rising sign starts at 28 degrees of Scorpio, that means when it goes 29, 30, you got the whole Sagittarius constellation in the first house. You feel me? So, or at least influence or a majority or a portion of Sagittarius in the first house. So a lot of us have two influences in the house. And the way you want to gauge how to decipher these things is looking at how much degree of an influence you have in the house. So if I look at a house and they got 10 degrees Capricorn, 4 degrees Aquarius, then I'm like, okay, this house is catching a heavier Capricorn influence, but Aquarius influence is there though. That shit there. Alright? So that's basically how you want to look at your intercepted houses for the most part, or when you have two different signs in a house. But when you watching astrology videos or you're trying to learn about your chart, and an astrologer saying, all right, sun in the first house, and if the sun is in a sign, that's in both houses, just understand that the planet is going to be influencing the house that it's in, regardless. Like, you got to get back to understanding the houses. Now, sun, and we just did Mars, sun conjunct Saturn. Sun conjunct Saturn, all right? Now, I like this placement. But it's a tough placement to deal with at times because the sun and Saturn don't fuck with each other. When y'all think of sun and Saturn, just think of y'all seen Meet the Fockers, Meet the Parents? Yeah, that relationship. Ben Stiller and Robert De Niro. That's the motherfucking sun Saturn relationship. All right? So there's a lot of stability that can come out of it. They're working on a foundation when you really overall looking at things, all right? But goddamn, they're gonna clash. And and y'all already know who's Saturn. Ben Stiller and Robert De Niro, y'all already know who's Saturn in that one, all right? And y'all already know who the sun is. So that just shows you everything Ben Stiller tries to express, all the actions that he does to try to impress his his father-in-law or his to-be father-in-law. Robert, he just be deflecting all that shit, like putting blocks and guards on all of that shit. So that's the relationship the sun and Saturn got. The sun would be paying attention to the things that entertain it, to how other people are expressing themselves, its actions, its creative endeavors, what it can create, all right? Saturn paying attention to more practical issues, stability, organization, responsibilities. So when you have the sun conjunct Saturn, this is what you're paying attention to taking action on. You sun in conjunct Saturn people, your actions is way more practical than others. All right, you guys' actions can come off dry. The way you appear to be can come off, real reserved. You guys could have the real still face. Sun and Saturn. All right, you're not really gonna see a sun conjunct Saturn person real expressive or real antsy pantsy or real vibrant. For the most part, they cool, calm, and collective. Sun and Saturn people. Sun in conjunction Saturn people go in the club. They post up in the club, get to see the vibe. All right, get comfortable a little bit. They got their back in, so they observing everything else. That's Sun and Saturn conjunction motherfuckers out this. You feel me? Because everything about Saturn is about making sense, practicality, stability, responsibility, organization, restrictions, limitations, and boundaries. So when you have the Sun conjunct Saturn, you could you're necessarily, like, subconsciously you guys, it's like you guys need to learn how to express yourselves in certain scenarios in life, because Saturn's about restrictions, limitations, and boundaries. Saturn is seeing what it could cut down. Saturn's always doing construction, so it's like it's always seeing what it could bulldoze or what it could build. So when you got Sun conjunct Saturn, your actions, sometimes you could subconsciously be placing restriction, limitation, and boundaries on your own actions, and you gonna manifest situations and experiences of people trying to restrict and limit your actions as well. So y'all got to be conscious of that shit. But because y'all y'all can be detached too. Especially if you got, most of y'all, if you got Sun conjunct Saturn, a lot of y'all got that in Aquarius. So if you got Sun conjunct Saturn in Aquarius, I already know y'all still low. Y'all don't budge unless it makes sense. Y'all don't speak unless it really makes sense. All right? So it makes the Sun have to pay attention to practicality. It makes the Sun need to be like, damn, does this expression make sense? Okay? That is a good thing. That can be a positive thing, but it could be a negative, because anything that's dealing with spirit, creativity, fire, expression, all of these things, everything dealing with creativity is natural. Whenever you're in a state of overthinking a creative process, then you know is like, you want to get back into the essence of running with the vibrations and your visions of things. That's when you know you're in a real creative state. All right. So this is why when you're in a new experience, this is why when you're creating new experiences, you are in your most godly state. You are truly in your most godly state. Because you're walking into a situation, experience, with no instructions, with no examples of how to follow anything. So shit, whatever the fuck you create to navigate that experience, to persevere through that experience, to you know, reap the fruits of your labor through that experience, you did that. You created that. That's you in your godly state. That's what it means when we're really talking about us being gods, but we get lost from that. We start following other gods. We start following other spirits. We start following how other people are doing things. You're never gonna be in your. You're never gonna reach your godly state and reach godly states of beings if you're not putting yourself in a state of, yo, I can't technically, literally explain how I'm about to get from point A to B, or how I'm gonna manifest that career, or how I'm gonna manifest that family, or how I'm gonna manifest that relationship I want, or how I'm gonna manifest the financial goals, or how I'm gonna manifest, you know, me getting out of poverty, how I'm gonna manifest, you know, paying these hospital bills, you know, for my relative or whatnot. I don't know how the fuck I'm about to do this, but watch me create some shit right now. You in your godly state. You in your godly state when you're in that bag. We have to and understand the universe is always supporting that energy. The universe is always supporting that energy. All right, the universe don't let you fall when you in that energy. The universe is there to show you. The universe is only there to help you mirror that attitude. Like, yes, yeah, you're the creator, motherfucker. Yeah, you think it, you feel it, you see it. Yeah, I know you can't. You might just be feeling it right now. You probably can't see it. But shit, can you hold on to that feeling until you start being able to see something, until you're able to start being able to act on something? Like, it's that deep. That's exactly what's going on. All right? So, always keep that in mind. That's when you're in the most godly state. And this is why sometimes we have to get lost to find ourselves. This is why sometimes a lot of people have to go through turbulence, low moments to bounce back up, because those be the moments that force us to get in godly states. You don't jump into a godly state of creating, of navigating your life in a pure creation state when you're in some form of contradiction under a religion, when you're under some form of a society or routine that you just naturally conform into. And you just letting life go day by day without pushing out any passions, goals, creating anything. You don't be in godly state in none of the moments. So that's why sometimes the universe. That's why sometimes you gotta get evicted. See, that's why sometimes you gotta get fired. That's why sometimes you gotta end up, you know, in the hospital for a chaotic moment, and understand that, damn, I almost lost my existence. And at the same time, is making me realize how I haven't even been creating. I haven't been in a godly state. I've been out here floating or following. All right. So this is what we always want to keep in mind. But yeah, that come with vulnerability. Being in those states, it come with vulnerability. It come with taking leaps of faith. But shit, how many times is it gonna take for you to actually manifest one of the moments? Because the problem is, like I said, it takes so much for us to get into them states. A lot of them times, it takes our back being against the wall and dealing with so much resistance, and maybe putting ourselves in a low moment to have to fight and get in that godly state and feel like, yo, all I got right now is my mind and how I perceive things and affirmations and speaking shit in there. That's all I got right now. But it be like sometimes how many times we've been in situations that you said, damn, how I get in this situation? I swear to God, if I get out of this situation, I'm never gonna be in it. I swear to God, like I'm gonna be on the right path. And as soon as that situation was done, you forgot about that. You forgot that you jumped into a godly state real quick to manifest an outcome or something. You go right back into being systematic, following routines, and not realizing, like, yo, when I was in a fucked up situation just now, I had to think and feel my way out of it. Literally. But as soon as I got out that situation, I forget that shit. I don't start applying that to life. Like, damn, the way I think and feel about life is really my external realm. Damn. Because when it comes to us just doing it without our back against the wall, we get impatient, we get distracted. So it's okay because ain't no fire to our ass at the moment. But it don't need to take that. It don't need to take that. It don't need to take that. It don't need to take Jupiter putting us in some type of experience because we ain't learned the lesson we ain't learned the lesson the 7th, 8th goddamn time. It don't take Pluto to have to transform some crazy shit in our life to make us be like, God damn, my life just did a 180. What I gotta set some of my own goddamn long-term passion, goals, and desires to get back on track. We don't gotta wait for Pluto to do that. We don't gotta wait for them things. Alright? Understand that you're the creator. So if you're in any type of pattern right now that you don't resonate with, whether it's a relationship, whether it's the job, your career that you're at, alright? And every day's a lesson, every day's a battle. So ain't none of us better than any of us. Ain't none of us better than any of us. And once people start realizing that shit, that make life a whole lot better. Cause motherfuckers just, bitch, you a spirit just like me, motherfucker. What you could do, I can't do. But people start manifesting certain shit in their life, getting caught up in certain images of themselves, start riding certain high horses, and start forgetting that you just a fucking spirit. Looking at other spirits and other bodies just because they might have not went through certain experiences and travels that you went through to get to where you at, but now you looking down on people. Now you looking at people like you ain't have to persevere, you ain't have to navigate, you ain't have to put yourself in some type of state of being to get to where you at. Now you looking at people like somebody can't do what you just did bigger and better. So that be the shit that keep your ass reincarnating. That those mentalities be the shit that keep your ass coming back here. Looking at people like they not spirits. Looking at people like you they God. Looking at people like you more superior to other people. Alright? So there's a little spiritual timeout. You know, a little spiritual excerpt. Back to the conjunctions. So where we at? Sun conjunction Saturn. Alright, yo? So the action's gonna be practical. The action's gonna make sense. The actions ain't gonna be sporadic, ain't gonna be spontaneous, alright? For the most part, the only people on Earth right now that got Sun and Saturn conjunctions is only gonna be pretty much like in Sagittarius, Aquarius, Pisces. There could be some Saturn and Aries generations out here. Alright? Yeah. You feel me? So it don't even matter the element, but the influence of that Saturn being there gonna make the sun think about their actions. Gonna make the sun, you know, look at their actions and be like, does it make sense? Is this gonna ground us? Is this gonna provide stability, a foundation in our lives in some type of shape or form? The sun in that house gonna do that. Alright? Best believe that. So, I said the sun in that house. Sun conjunct Saturn. Alright? So, and this is another thing about Sun conjunct Saturn. Remember, the sun is also how you pay attention to other people's actions. So this is something to keep in mind if you dealing with a Sun and Saturn person, and if you're a Sun and Saturn person, you need to know this about yourself. This is a manipulative like placement. If I did a video talking about the top 10 most manipulated placements, this placement making the list. Sun conjunct Saturn. Because Saturn ain't dealing with feelings and emotions. Saturn is dealing with practicality. Saturn is dealing with stability, foundation. How Saturn gonna get from point A to point B. How Saturn gonna build and structure his reality. How Saturn gonna get a bag. So if you got the sun paying attention to stability, and if you know the sun pays attention to other people's actions and how other people express themselves and how other people are seen, with Saturn influence here, now you're paying attention to other people's resources. Now you're paying attention to other people's net worth, how much somebody make a year. Now you're paying attention to if you connect with somebody, what type of resources they may have, how you may be able to build with this person. And if you got Sun in conjunct Saturn and you ain't really got no, let's say you got the moon and earth, moon and air, rising in air, earth, and you ain't got feelings and emotions attached to shit, that Sun and Saturn gonna make you be like, all right, let me just take action, express myself in this type of way. We get connected, boom, resources, boom, we building. And that could get into a manipulative bag. You want to fall on that positive scale and see what actions you can personally take, or how you can positively associate yourself with people instead of being in a negative, behind the scenes, make people work for me type of bag. All right, or be in relationships because of what somebody got, how much somebody make. Sun conjunction Saturn, people. All right. Now Sun conjunction Jupiter. Sun conjunction Jupiter. Okay, I have this placement. What is Jupiter? Jupiter is how we learn from our experiences. Jupiter is always teaching us. So wherever you have Jupiter at, you're learning all day in that area of life. And I know you got some shit to teach us about that area of life wherever you have Jupiter at. All right. Jupiter is a big gassy planet. It's a big gassy planet. So wherever Jupiter is, whatever house you have Jupiter at, is gonna expand. It's gonna expand in some type of shape or form. All right. So when you got Jupiter by the sun, these people can be real jovial. These people can be real. But y'all see the way I talk. Y'all see the way I express myself. All right. Y'all see that. So they expand on everything with the actions. The things they're paying attention to, they could blow it up sometimes. This is why sun conjunction Jupiters could be dramatic, because like it's like, all right, I'm a Libra, right? So I got this conjunction in Libra. I got Sun conjunction Jupiter in Libra. So Libras already could be likey. Libras could already be so relatable to the external realm that they end up saying that they like everything because they don't want to be non-relatable. It be that deep. Hold on, let me just move this real quick. Better get out of here, man. Yeah. Alright, we're gonna finish strong, fam. So Jupiter is gonna expand. So I got Jupiter in Libra and Gemini. So I mean in Gemini. Jupiter, Sun conjunct in Libra. So Libras already could be likey because they're so relatable. They don't want to step on people's toes. They want to make sure that they value other people's input. Even though Libra, because you could say some shit a Libra don't like and they'll just be like, word, right? But in their mind, they're like, I ain't fucking with you no more. But they not gonna really communicate it or express that shit like that. All right? That's why I said the opposite. Aries, they will. They're gonna say no. They're gonna be blunt. They're gonna be dry. Even if they don't express it, they face gonna show you that they ain't really fucking with or reciprocating. Peace, bro. Get home safe. That they ain't really reciprocating what you talking about. All right, shout outs to Nala. Thank you for the donation. I appreciate that. Oh! Damn, when my comments be disappearing, I don't like when I do that. All right, so, there we go. Look like we good. So, Jupiter gonna expand on everything. So when I was younger, people always used to tell me like, "Damn, you like everything." Like somebody say something to me about something, and I'd be like, "Oh yeah, word, yeah." I could not even really know about what you talking about, but be so giddy, be ready to expand, be ready to add on, be ready to see the bigger, broader perspective. So Jupiter by the sun, they're already paying attention to. A lot of them either gonna come out spiritual or religious, one or the other, or they be in their spiritual bag, but not gonna say they spiritual. But for the most part, they're looking at their experience and seeing what things mean, analyzing life, seeing life from a bigger, broader perspective. At the end of the day, if you're allowing life to teach you, if you're allowing to learn from life, from patterns, from your experience, you gonna find your spiritual path. It's harder to find your spiritual path trying to learn how other people got on their spiritual path. Okay? Trying to learn how you know you're on your spiritual path. Let life guide you there, because every other day life is guiding you there. Every day life is trying to make you pay attention to a relationship you need to cut off because that ain't supporting your spiritual path. Maybe you should move here. This location ain't supporting your spiritual path. Maybe you should cut off this friendship. Anything you get in a negative vibration about, most likely that shit ain't supporting your spiritual path. And this is why I always say, I need to get a t-shirt that says this. There's a thin line between self-improvement and your spiritual path. People that just end up wanting better for themselves. People that just really start feeling and thinking that they could create the reality they live in. they end up just aligning on their spiritual path. All right. Novski. All right. Yo, me and Novi did a joint reading today, and y'all gotta get y'all tarot readings, because Novi pulls a card at the end of these tarot readings, and I ain't never see these many tarot readings like this up front, and it's just like to go through a whole chart reading and then pull a card at the end. It'd be crazy how these cards resonate. And at the same time, when we talk about astrology, tarot, like these is cousins, like we're all in the mix, all right? They're all, they all have a relationship, but y'all need to tap into the garden, all right? You pulling cards, we doing readings, fam. Y'all, you feel me? Y'all already know what it is. But when we talk about Sun conjunct Jupiter, the thing here is, Jupiter's dealing with your experiences, your educational level, what you know, what you've learned, philosophy, spirituality, religion. So you already paying attention on them things. Like Sun conjunction Jupiter people, it's hard for them to deal with information and facts so much, because they are able to see the bigger, broader perspective. The Sun is always going to be what you see, so they're always going to be able to see the bigger, broader perspective, see the big picture, or at least they want to build on the big picture. So Sun in conjunction Jupiter people got to be careful how they express themselves, coming off as know-it-alls, coming off as they already see the bigger picture. You can have a lot of Sun conjunction Jupiter people that when it comes to enlightening them, teaching them, they may feel like they already see the bigger, broader perspective or the bigger picture. And for the most part, when you got like the Sun in the 9th house, Sun in Jupiter, you develop that mentality, because for the most part, you manifest a lot of situations in life that you are the one to see the bigger, broader perspective. You are the one to see how people got lost and see above things, rise above things. Whoever came up with the saying, we need to rise above this during police brutality and protesting in turbulent times in society, was probably a Sun conjunct Jupiter person. We need to rise above this. We need to see the bigger, broader perspective, bigger picture. We need to be bigger than this. All right. So this is what you're dealing. This is falling. That's the more positive scale of the Sun conjunct Jupiter. Is going to be paying attention to its what it means when other people express themselves. They're going to be paying attention to the meaning and reasonings of why somebody might have expressed themselves a certain way, why they're connecting with somebody, of overall experience. Okay. But it could fall on the negative scale when they feel like they already built a bigger, broader perspective of a situation, stepping into a situation, all right? When they feel like they already know somebody's whole outlook and perspective about something, just because they experience things in their personal life, your experiences is still different from other people's experiences at the same time. Sun conjunct Jupiter, got to understand that too, all right? Now, Sun conjunct Neptune, all right? So what we got? We got Sun conjunct Neptune and then Pluto. Sun conjunct Neptune, all right, and we're gonna do moon conjunctions tomorrow. When you got Sun conjunct Neptune, what is Neptune? Now, Neptune is like the higher octave of what's the name of Jupiter. All right, we just did Jupiter. Jupiter is like the junk uncle, your favorite uncle you could go to when you was young, you was a teenager, and you could talk about things and learn things from your uncle, that your cool young uncle that if you was in trouble, he was the uncle to tell your pops and mom, like, come on, give him a break, man. And they're like, all right, come on, let me take you out the house real quick. When you was in timeout, like that cool uncle, and be asking you what's going on in school, trying to drop gems on you. That's Jupiter. Neptune is grandma. That's where Jupiter be living at. That uncle your uncle that just got out, all right? Your uncle just be a rolling stone. It's like, damn, uncle, where you living at now? But when you go to grandma's house, uncle always there. That's that uncle, Jupiter, all right? Be over there in grandma's house, grandma Neptune house, picking up the wisdom from grandma, picking up all the experiences that grandma been through. And Jupiter loved to learn. That's why he be teaching so much. That's why he be trying to teach Mercury ass so goddamn much. But Mercury just be all over the goddamn place, trying to learn everything. And Jupiter be like, yo, you trying to learn every single thing in the world, but what's the meaning and reasoning to what you learn? You ever think about that, kiddo? That's how Jupiter be looking at Mercury. And Jupiter be, Mars, come over here. Venus, y'all good? Y'all need allowance, y'all good? Y'all been eating? Y'all getting big? I shouldn't even have to ask that. Y'all getting big already. Like, that's Jupiter. You feel me? So Jupiter gonna be in grandma's crib. Jupiter gonna be at his mom's crib, getting the gems, the Jupiter child gonna be the child that when they young and their parents is telling stories, these kids be getting the lesson and the meaning, reason of the story. Like you know those moments, them stories that your parents they gotta wait till later to tell you till you're older. Not the Sun conjunct Jupiter kids. Not the Sagittarius. Not the Sagittarius rising Pisces not them. Not the Sagittarius Pisces placements. They understood the lesson early. Now the Sagittarius still got to learn how to control their actions and whatnot. So they'll know when they doing wrong. Like Sagittarius is, when they get in trouble, when Sagittarius is doing negative shit, they don't not know what they doing. They don't just give a fuck at the moment. That's the thing with Sagittarius. It's fire. So they know what they doing wrong. You probably got Sagittarius. I bet you most Sagittarius in jail right now. If you look at all Sagittarius placements that are locked up right now, I bet you these niggas ain't even. Well, Sagittarius do be lying. Y'all do be lying. I ain't gonna lie. Y'all be lying. But I bet you a lot of them in there, they know. They was like, yeah, man. But like either they gonna lie about the situation, and they not really gonna lie about the situation. They just gonna gas it up. That's why I'm saying Jupiter is a big gassy planet. They expand on everything. So my son, people mistake me for a Sagittarius that time. I done had people guess that I'm a Sagittarius. My son in the 9th house. I got Jupiter, which is home in the 9th house by the sun. So like I was just explaining back in the day, the real form of astrology, with the first house being the house of your sun in, they would be like, yeah, this is a super 9th house nigga. This is a super, he got Jupiter conjunct his shit too. You feel me? So they would know that I'm real expansive. They would know that I may come off real expressive about what I know. They may know that I gas shit the fuck up. I may gas shit the fuck up. I may make shit bigger than what it is. And that may be me just trying to see the bigger perspective of something. Alright? So you may have Sagittarius in jail. Either they not necessarily lying, they just gassing the story, making us crazy, making us a simple story sound way crazier and more adventurous than it really was. Or they just sitting there like, yeah, I ain't gonna lie. Like they gonna give you the meaning and reasoning about why they locked up. They gonna know, they gonna be like, I ain't gonna lie. They gonna gas this too, but they gonna be like, I knew I shouldn't have stole out that store. I just knew. You know why? Because that morning when I woke up, I don't really remember dreams like that, but I had a dream, that somebody was giving me something. And what they was giving me, I didn't deserve that. So when I was going to steal today, I thought about that dream. And I'm like, I shouldn't be taking, because somebody was giving me something in my dream. And now I'm taking, that don't even matter. So I just knew they going to find the meaning and reasoning and lesson and perspective and some philosophy and some grand, they going to find that shit. So Sun and Jupiter, calm down with that shit. Sun conjunction Jupiter, all right? Now Sun conjunct, but actions over time is gonna come off wise. They gonna have things to teach you about their actions, even if they come off chaotic, move a lot, can't stay still, all right? Oh, because we got Jupiter is not birthed, but home in that 9th house, so it wants to expand, create new experiences. So you have Sagittarius or the Pisces, they want to expand on things. More so Sagittarius because they come out the 9th house for real. But so you got Sagittarius that they gotta travel, they gotta go on their vacations, like they gotta plan things. Sagittarius don't be planning and organizing shit, but they gonna plan a trip. They gonna organize their trips. They don't need nobody to do that for them. I tell you that much. All right. So Sun in conjunct Jupiter, boom. And last but not least, drumroll, Sun conjunct Pluto. Sun conjunct Pluto. So shout out my Scorpio, my Pluto in Scorpio generation. If y'all in the building, especially if you got Sun conjunct Pluto. All right. Now, what is Pluto? Pluto is your deep passions, goals, desires, but the long term. Excuse me, y'all. But the long term ones. So Pluto is just like how I said Neptune is the higher octave of Jupiter. You could look at Pluto as the higher octave. Excuse me, y'all. Just like how I said Neptune is the higher octave of Jupiter. You can look at Pluto being the higher octave of Mars. All right. So if you got a Mars Jupiter conjunction in your chart, I mean a Mars Pluto conjunction. I have a Mars Pluto conjunction. Niggas can't tell you nothing. You block you, cause they like this. They like Mars and Pluto like this. They cousins. You could look at them like they cousins. You can look at Mars and Pluto like they cousins. But their relationship is like Mars be having his passions on this one thing, and then when Pluto comes to visit for Thanksgiving or pops up, visits a couple of weeks in the summer, Pluto know how to come and tell Mars like, yo, look. I ain't gonna tell you, you got your eyes on the prize right now. You got your eyes on the prize. Yeah, stay on that, but just look at this shit long term. Look what that could grow into. So I know you passionately want that shit right now, but just look at what that shit could take you. That's what Pluto doing with Mars. So if you got Pluto and Mars conjunct, when it comes to your passions, goals, and desires, you setting the motherfucking intentions, and you can hone in on them. You can hone in on them, bitches. Your focus is unmatched when it comes to how long you could stay on the trail to one of your passions, goals, and desires. But the negative end of that would be you being so dialed in, so channeled in, that for somebody to come and help you, for somebody to come add into your journey, for somebody to show you a quicker way, is like you be that dialed in. You be that dialed in on your motherfucking passions and goals and desires. You know? So I tell you this shit my goddamn self. Alright? I got Mars and Pluto conjuncting my 10th house. I have Mars, Mercury, and Pluto. They all together. It's a triple tag team. Alright? So I play out extremes in my social status, career area of life. I play out extremes in that area of life. And I can be I used to block, I won't even say I used to block opportunities, but it's like I just knew that I wanted to teach at a sense. And when I got into that, when I made that decision, anything else that was in the external realm that was trying to derail me from that just bounced off of that. Whether it was somebody coming to me in my life that really cared about me, like, yo, I understand what you're doing, you're passionate about this, but yo, you don't think you should work here or just get a job there or like something with security? I'm like, yo, I don't want to hear none of that shit. I want this. I want this to be my career. I want this to be my social status. This is what it is. This is what I want my foundation and the form of stability in my life to be. So Mars you got Mars and Pluto conjunct. You already know what it is. So you got to be able to be open-minded or whatnot. You got to be able to peep those things. You got to be able to see when somebody's trying to add on to something that you're passionate about, to one of your goals, and be able to be like, okay, damn. All right, I'm gonna consider it. I'm gonna sit on the thought. You feel me? But family, they got me on a 1 minute timer. It's already late. Y'all know me. I could never get on an early live. I could never get a nice 6, 7, 8 o'clock live. So sorry for always coming on so live, even though I know everybody's in different places. So we're gonna go sun tomorrow. I'm getting on. I can't say what time because I don't know my schedule off the top of my head tomorrow, but I'm gonna be on tomorrow and we're gonna get into the moon conjunctions. But we're gonna pick it up with Sun conjunct Pluto though. Alright, so we're gonna cap it off with Sun conjunct Pluto. We're gonna make sure Sun conjunct Pluto come get they just due. We're not about to do everybody and just, you feel me? So we're gonna make sure Sun, oh, I'm bugging. We ain't do Sun conjunct Neptune. So we got Sun conjunct Neptune, Sun conjunct Pluto tomorrow, and then we getting into moon conjunctions. Alright, family? So y'all know I love y'all. Thank you for building and tapping in tonight. I'm gonna catch y'all on the flip side tomorrow. Alright, especially with some energies early in the morning. Alright, family? Peace.